Tell 'em run it off.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell 'em run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it off.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland, Tech Thursday, whatever you want to call it. We are doing it live now. What I need to do, how is my audio? The reason why I'm late is because I had a severe audio problem. And it wasn't even, it's a stupid reason to have an audio problem issue. The joy of testing was I got a new product in. I'm just waiting to see if the audio is good. Just waiting to see. Okay. The funny thing is, well, two things have happened just now, which was very, very weird. So the first thing is, I got a new product in. So I was doing some comparison shots and all that stuff. To make a long story short, I ended up knocking over my Rodecaster, like legitimately knocking this guy over. Whole thing fell over, pulled out all of my cords because I have a USB hub that kind of connects all of my peripherals everywhere. It all came down, including the new product. It all fell out of my hands, all of it. So, I pulled everything back up, freaked out, made sure it was working, didn't think anything of it. Then I get here this morning and start to work stuff. And I'm like, I'm not getting any audio anywhere. So, so it became a thing. So I had to spend my time, first off, making sure I didn't break half the stuff, because I haven't even done reviews on some of the stuff that I'm breaking, and getting it to work. Now, the funny thing about all of this is, for whatever reason, when I went ahead and reset up my audio device, I'm using OBS in case anybody didn't know, all of my audio now can be placed higher. It was all lower before, like I'm talking halfway lower. So I think on the install, I might have had an issue. I don't know, but I'm glad we're working now. This window that has a bright opening is driving me nuts. I think it's fine. It's just driving me nuts. So hope everybody's having a fantastic morning today. Having a little trouble seeing my chat. My monitor's off a little bit. So, I want to go ahead and modify that real quick. So set tight for just half a second here. Okay. So I think we're all good here. You see my coffee cup. My turntables are here. You won't be able to see them because, well, I'm having a little issue with one of my connections. Enjoy the dark for half a second here while I see what's going on. Aha, found it. Okay. You know, when you make when you do the whole streaming thing and OBS and all of these connections, a lot of people don't realize this, but you're kind of living on a house of cards. Once you get it to a point where you're like exceptionally happy with everything, that's when you forget about everything. You get everything working properly and then you don't think about it. And you might go a year or two without changing any setups or any designs. So the one time that you, knock a cord out or knock some stuff out, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I haven't been back here in forever. So, that is the thing. My wife is into this, almond milk. She likes her almond milk. I'm a soy milk guy for my coffee creamer. Again, decaf, no caffeine, but, she didn't buy my soy creamer. She bought her almond creamer. Almond creamer, first off, they really shouldn't even call it a creamer. Because it's not even close to that. You know how I know this? Because today, she had just bought this almond creamer. I didn't think about it. I opened it up. I went to pour it into my cup and water came out. Just a clear substance. So I said, oh, closed it back up, shook it up again. And then the color came back. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my coffee and there's like just shapes. Not shapes, but yeah. I like my creamer. Ugh. I do not like the way this thing tastes today. Anyway. And again, I don't even drink caffeine. So this is just a thing that I like to do because I spent a lot of time, it's like, I guess, people who, I don't know, maybe they were alcoholics or they were huge beer drinkers and they end up drinking like O'Doul's. I know there's probably another non-alcoholic beer, but that's what I remember. And, that's how I feel about coffee. Oat milk is my fave. I like oat milk too. I do. So, anyway, let's make sure. Nope. I can see it, but I can't change it. So, since we're in that mode today, let's just fix it real quick. You can just sit back and enjoy the musical stylings of Cleveland Terry while we get this thing going. What's the there we go. What's the Batman? The Batman was it Batman 3 with Bane? What did he say? I was born in it. You merely adapted the night. I was born in it. It's those little Bane was the man. Even though you couldn't understand half the stuff. All right. So today is Tech Thursday. I mean, isomatic. That's just facts. You know what you know. I don't personally see the enjoyment of drinking. Well, I don't drink beer anyway. Not because I don't drink beer. I was never really a beer drinker. I'm an alcohol drinker. And beer to me just doesn't do that for me. I've always been of that mindset of like, if I'm going to drink alcohol, I'm going to drink alcohol that actually is going to do something. I feel like you got to drink so much beer to get to the point that you want to be. Now, if you just love the taste of beer, cool, do your thing. But it never resonated with me ever. So, It's just funny. I will say this though. There is a point in time on a hot summer day when you've been out like mowing the lawn or doing yard work or whatever, working on your car, whatever you're doing, and it's been hot and I don't know what it is. But a cold beer at that point definitely hits the spot. Don't know why. Don't know why. So the reason why I don't drink beer anymore, and I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so that's why my face is contorting, because this is sneeze weather, because right now it's pollen weather in Southern California and I have allergies. So when there are allergies, there are people like me making stupid faces all day until you sneeze, and then you go from there. I'm waiting on my gardeners to come and actually mow my lawn. For whatever reason, they could not come out for the last couple of weeks, and it's been raining, so the grass is like on steroids. So I have basically a full-on forest in my front yard right now. I'm the embarrassment of my neighborhood. The literal embarrassment. There's a lady selling her house across the street. I'm just like, I'm sorry. My gardeners are coming, I promise you. Flonase. So not to get too into the weeds, since we were just talking about the lawn. But I am on a perpetual Flonase and Allegra medication daily. But there comes a point in time that your body, there's too much pollen for the amount of stuff. So your body just takes a minute to adjust to it. You know, normally for me, like this is about the point in time, because I've always been an athlete, and you know, I ran track and cross country and football, basketball, and also I did a lot of triathlons. This is always a time in the year where no cars on blocks, Keith. No, and then it wouldn't have to just be on blocks. They have to be on blocks in the grass, in the weeds. That's how you just like put it over the top of, you know, ghetto people. But right now is the time when literally my lungs just go half size for about a month. And I struggle through all my exercises because I just can't get the air. And then it works its way out, and then I'm fine by the time I hit May again, you know. But yeah, it's a little hard right now. A little hard. Okay. This is a Tech Thursday. So, first off, if you have any questions, make sure you put the hashtag ask. I no longer have the sign because computers. And I just haven't had a chance. I'm going to revamp this whole thing, by the way. Not so much the visuals. I mean, a little bit of the visuals, but the intro, I mean, that's going to be reserved for, well, right now it's reserved for the interviews, which are coming back. I just don't know exactly how I want them to come back. That's the issue with the podcast. I mean, technically this is kind of a podcast too, but the interviews is, I don't know how I want to do them. I know I don't want to do them today because I do want to reserve Tech Thursday for Tech Thursday. And I don't want it to go from a, 2+ hour show to an all of a sudden 3 or 4 hour show. Like, I don't want that. So and I don't know if I want to do it live. I don't know if I want to repost it and just rebroadcast it. There's a lot of things that I'm thinking about, because I definitely want there to be a reason that people are watching it, not just because it's on, but because it's something special. So I'm working through that, just trying to figure out what I want to do. I posted on on IG. If you guys aren't following me, you should be. That's at Cleveland Terry with an _. And I asked the question, do you guys want to watch him live, or do you want to, watch a rebroadcast? So a lot of people, I'm gonna scoot up here because this is bothering me. A lot of people were saying that they actually wanted it live. Most people were saying that they just wanted to make sure that it was broadcast later on because, a lot of people will watch this particular show. They'll watch it later. Like I might have 100 to 200 people on here watching it live, but it won't be until later that evening where all of a sudden, like I'll get like 1,000 views like that because people watch it later on. So I am, and then it's funny because I'll get comments later on about things we talked about here, and it's completely like out of left field for me because it'll just be something random that they'll say, but it had to do with the fact that they were watching the stream. So I'm not really sure what I want to do just yet. I'm not really sure, but when it works out, it'll work out. You know what I mean? We can try something. If I don't like the way it's going, we can modify it, but I got to figure out. I've done several podcasts where they weren't done live, and then later on they got posted. I don't know if I liked it that way, to be honest with you, if I'm being real, because I personally didn't know when they came back on when they were aired, and for whatever reason, the person who was doing the interviewing didn't put it on their IG or their stories or whatever. So I had no idea. So I don't know. I feel like if you have a fan base on, whatever podcasting system you're using, I guess that's fine. But, I also look at people like Joe Rogan, who does his whole show. It'll be online, and then he also have his clips channel and his IG stuff. So I don't think it matters where it goes. I think you're going to lock into wherever you lock in at. Okay. Let's see here. DJ Nick Young says, does TikTok help increase bookings by uploading content? Well, that's a very good question. And I'm going to take that a little bit deeper. And I'm going to say, does social media in general help increase bookings by uploading? So, I'm going to piss people off right now because I'm going to blow my nose and then I will answer the question. Okay. Matt Ames, you are correct. Lou Later is definitely a good live pre-recorded hybrid. Yeah, that's a really, really good example. So yeah, it might end up being that way. Okay. So back to young Nick. Does TikTok help increase bookings? Does social media in general help increase bookings? So this is a multi-layered answer because there are certain aspects that I think we have to talk about. First off, as a whole, does social media help increase bookings by uploading content? The answer is yes. That's the short answer. Okay. Yes, it does. but not because of the reasons you may think. So, if we're just talking about bookings, right? People know who you are, or you're building a fan base. And you go to a club and you're like, I want to spend here. They automatically go to your social media. Okay? They check out how many followers you have. You know, what your activity is, because you can have followers and have BS activity. So they check your activity. How's that working out for you? Okay. So far, I'm checking off all the boxes. Oh, hey, he's got some content of him DJing. Let me check him out. Okay. Yeah, he's got some skill. You know what? We'll put him on. That's one way. That's the normal way. Now, the extreme way is how a lot of people are thinking they're going to blow up. They throw up some DJ stuff. It goes viral, and people see you and they're like, oh my God, that's that viral guy. I want you to do my event. I like to call that the Nick Spinelli situation. His stuff blew up, and people were hiring him because he is that's the social media DJ. That's the guy that does all the cool tricks and blah, blah, blahs. That works too. That is not the norm. Now, of course, if you're some beautiful female that is an amazing DJ, when I tell you that that's like instant success, it pretty much is. Not taking anything away from anybody's talent or what they can or can't do. I'm just saying that, if you hit the trifecta, you're beautiful, you can DJ, you're beautiful. That was, well, see, this is why you edit these things out. But you guys know what I'm saying. So there is things out there. I have had people myself, when like a party planner, a big name party planner has said, oh, we want to book you for this, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, but we need to send them your social media so they can see you. That's just as important. So yes, social media will help you get booked, but I don't think that it's going to get you booked just from people seeing you unless you are an anomaly, which does happen. Hence, people like Nick Spinelli, but in general, you got to hit the trifecta. More importantly, content is a way of validating who you are. I have said this forever, even with my YouTube channel. People are always asking me about, how do I get started in YouTube, or how do I get started in social media, whatever. And I tell people the same thing. Content is more important. I was going to say more important than quality, but that's not necessarily true. Content is important for validation. You see, you can come up with the most perfect routine. Okay. It's perfect. And people, every DJ that sees it is like, that's amazing. He's amazing. She's amazing. Right? They are amazing. I got to hit all the pronouns. My daughter hates when I'm like, I don't want to call they. I just say he or she. You can't do that anymore. I'm like, I know, but you can't just change who I am. I respect who they are, but when I first see something, I automatically assume he or she. It's upbringing. I'm sorry. Anyway, back to what I was saying. And Drew Infused in the building. What is going on, fam? Good to see you. Speaking of podcasts, that's another great podcast. But when you are making content, it's not the first or the only piece of content that is important for your success and for your growth. Okay. It's about having content for people to latch onto. I know people right now that are like, oh, I'm an artist, and then they make something and they post it and then they delete it. And then they put something else up and they post it and they delete it. Meanwhile, people who are potentially seeing like a reel, or somebody shared your content. What do you do? What do you do when somebody shares, when you get a shared piece of content? If it's funny or whatever, you may go to their profile. What else do they have? Or the way Reels works and the way algorithms work, if you're watching a piece of content and something's funny to you or you find it entertaining or, educational, thought-provoking, and then you like that, maybe a day later, you'll get another piece of content from that same person. And then if you like that, maybe not that one, but maybe the third one, you're like, okay, this person is good. You follow them. Same thing with YouTube. Nothing changes, okay? That first video, if anybody ever sees me, they've never seen me before, they see my video, they're like, that's a good video. They're not following me off of that video, okay? Just typically speaking. It's the second or the third video. So coming back around, what I'm saying is the more content you have, the more validation that you are what you say you are. Okay? That's the key with social media. It's not I'm going to do this one mix that's amazing and it's going to get me booked and I'm going to win Red Bull and everything's going to be perfect. That's not life. Okay? It's more about having the content for people to say, I see your quality across the board. You are a amazing fill in the blank. Because I've seen people come out with amazing routines, right? Just like one amazing routine and never again. And then I think to myself, why do you only have that one routine? That's weird. Or like, a DJ, I'm going to say they, a DJ comes online and most of their social media is all pictures of them in bathing suits. See, I didn't see, that was good, right? That was good. I didn't do it. Them in bathing suits. Maybe they have a picture of them DJing in a bathing suit. Maybe it's a skimpy bathing suit. Maybe they have a lot of views on that one video, but the rest of their stuff is all modeling. Are you going to go, well, that's clearly a DJ? No, you're going to say, well, I don't know what that is to expect. So I'm going to enjoy looking at what I look at, but this isn't serious for me. That's the way I look at things. Yes. I think they can get you out of trouble. I think if you just say they for everybody, I think you can really get out of trouble. From now on, everybody's a they. Oh, they're stupid. They suck. Who is they? They. And people automatically, even though they don't want to act like they're not thinking in their mind he or she, because our biology just doesn't change because we've decided to have pronouns. So everybody's a they now. They, them, those. Those people. See how worse that sounds? Oh, those people. What do you mean those people? Anyway. Okay. Ruben asks, what should we definitely have as content on our social media? Well, again, it really depends on what you want for your social media. Like, I'm never one to tell people, well, you have to do this for your social media. I don't think there's one specific thing that. Okay. So in general, you should choose, unless it's your personal account, you should choose what kind of media you want. You should choose what you want people to see you as, because they're going to automatically put you in a box anyway. So if you're all over the place If you're all over the place, then people aren't going to know who you are. And then they're probably not going to follow you unless they're your friends. So if you've ever noticed my content, my content is for the most part all DJ related. All of it. There might be some breaks here and there for, I don't know, family accomplishments or something like that. But in general, they're all, even when they're humorous, when they're comedy skits and shorts, they're still all DJ related. The way people work right now, again, it's unfortunate. People want to put you in a box. So, they don't want they don't want their favorite DJ all of a sudden starting to cook. Unless you're cooking on the tables. You get what I'm saying? So like if my YouTube channel is all DJ stuff, if all of a sudden I started doing DJ stuff, but also my knitting, I spend a half hour just showing people how to knit. Yes, I might gain some knitting fans, but I'm going to lose some DJ fans. So you got to make a choice, and it's okay to shift, but you got to make a choice. I mean, I think a lot of people do that. They build their stuff up and they shift to something else, and people are like, wow, they have this many followers. Like, well, kind of. Okay. Donut King says, this whole celebrity DJ and anyone can DJ thing is frustrating because everyone thinks it's so easy and do not remotely have all the knowledge to be an actual DJ. So I'm going to say something controversial, and then I'm going to feel like I'm going to sneeze because that's my life today. Say something, sneeze. DJing as a very surface level thing is easy. The technology and the tools that are given to you to DJ does make it easy. Like, if somebody just happened to know music, like they play their songs, they know their songs, they know when they come in, and you just tell them, hey, play this beat when the chorus comes in, and then take it out when the chorus ends. They hit the sync button. They might even auto sync. They're playing house music with no chorus. It's just beats. Yeah, that's pretty damn easy. Now, if we're talking about knowledge, skill sets, your hands, tricks, routines, scratching, genre bending, now it's getting more complicated. But DJing just on the surface, it's not hard. It really isn't. Sometimes I feel like we want to turn it into something like it's like rocket science, or like you're a doctor performing open heart surgery. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, but it is hard to read a crowd. It is hard to understand what I call, the mob. It's hard to understand how people are reacting to what you're playing. I don't care about Mexican key, DJ Dell. I'm sorry. And I'm honestly tired of seeing mixing in key as a thing. I know. Call me weird. I just don't think about it. I don't think about mixing in key when I DJ. Been DJing long enough. That's not a thing. It's not. It's like somebody that can play music without reading a chart. They can hear a song and go, oh, okay, and just start playing it. They're not thinking about it being in key. They're just knowing that it's in key because we've been doing it long enough to know what songs work and what songs don't. And if a song doesn't work, ways to get around it not working. I literally just posted an IG reel about it. I think I got shadow banned on this one video. I think I did, because like normally my videos, you know, I'll average. I don't even want to talk about views, but just like they'll get 400-500 likes on a post. This one has like 28 likes. So I think the song that I used, I think Instagram decided not to put it out like it normally does. But either way, there's a song, Incomprehendido, which is by Farouk and Better Off Alone. They take Better Off Alone. They take the song when they make their new song. So you can mix in Better Off Alone and that song. Here's the problem. There is a point they made a conscious decision to change one note on the song. One note. They do that so they can get around copyright. Okay? So that's why. And if you play Better Off Alone and the song, that one note is off. The rest of it completely in key. So all I did was show people how to get around that when something is out of key. You know, when one note's out of key, remove the damn key. Problem solved. You know, if you have a bass line that's in the wrong key when you're mixing two bass lines together, take one of the bass lines out. Now that we have stems, just mute it. It's like we make things more complicated than they need to be. So I will say this one more time. If you are mixing in key all the time, only, every time, you're going to have boring sets. You got to deviate. You can't even really like change genres if you were just purely mixing in key. It's a boring set. Anyway, Love on Top is a key mixing adventure. That's hilarious. Hey, look, I finally hear my gardeners here. You know, and they just made it worse on themselves, because my grass is like, I feel like it's like 5 or 6 inches right now. And that's more fuel. That's more work for them. And then did they just come last week? I'm gonna have this problem. Okay. Anyway. All right, let's see some comments here. Oh yeah, Donna King. And don't get me started on mashups. You know, like, I mean, I guess if you make your own mashup, you know, your own 3 or 4 song thing that you use, I guess technically it's okay. I'm just a live guy. You know, there's already enough breaks and, you know, all these things in tracks and remixes now that's enough change to get into something else. Now it's weird though, because I think that the breaks definitely do, especially for the younger crowd, they require them more than the older crowd. The older crowd you can mix straight. The new kids, you know, you definitely have to have variations and changes, and even if it's hip hop, has to have kind of the fundamentals of like a drop. You know, these kids they're just different now. They're just different now. Okay. When you can just know and have the intuition of what is working both sound wise and crowd wise, that is when you're a good and experienced DJ. Agreed. Okay, let me see. I knew there was another question here. Yeah, Matthew says, get videos out there, gig logs, especially of you on the mic, go a long way for weddings. People like to see that stuff. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I mean, we get bookings off of our IG just from our parties. You know, we take, first off, we take good content. We don't use crappy cameras. And I'm not talking about pulling out, you know, my Sony a7 IV. I'm just talking about taking a picture with like an iPhone 13, an iPhone 12 or higher, and having good light behind it and not looking grainy. I have a competitor right now that I look at their social media and I'm like, no wonder why you're not getting booked. Your social media is trash. It's trash. You have to, running a business is just not you being a good DJ. If that were the case, there'd be a lot of super successful DJs out there. But there's a lot of failures because they don't know how to run a business. And business is the way you talk to clients, the way you handle situations, the way you handle problems, and the way you market yourself. And the generation now, all the people that are coming out now, the 25s, 30, 40-year-olds that you're doing weddings and, you know, all that stuff, they are looking at social media. Oh, what's her name? Oh, check 1, 2. Hold on, let me see if they have a social media presence. Oh, okay. All right, they got 6,000 followers. Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, you know, it's a company. Nobody expects people to follow companies. And then well, let's look at their content. Wow, here's a party of them having a great time. The crowd is packed. People are screaming. Okay, let's go to the next one. Wow, this is a completely different MC or DJ. And guess what? The crowd is screaming. Everybody's having a good time. Wow, the light looks really good in here. Wow. These are things. They're not getting you specifically booked. They are validating the quality of your work. That's why you do it. And if you don't have it, people don't have anything to go off of. Or you have some sort of like perfect, pre-perfect demo. Here you go. Here's my demo. And your demo has one party. And yes, you may be good on that one party. That's not enough. Just like content on social media, just like content on YouTube. How do you get people to follow you? It's not off the one video. It's off the multiple videos. Full circle. If you send them one demo that you shot 10 years ago and people can see because they're looking at the way they're dressed and where it is. And, you know, they're like, hey, didn't that place close down? That's the last time you did a video. And people look at that stuff. So you gotta put content out there. You do. Okay. Okay. Clayton Mechtel asks, do you think the new Chevy iOS controller will be suitable replacement for things like the ADJ Wi-Fi app? Yeah, probably. Hopefully. Assuming that they don't, break the insides just so it only works with iOS. They have told me it works with iOS and it works with DMX. The question that I have until I can mess with it is, how much can you do manually with DMX? How much is the controller itself a DMX on the fly situation? That's the key for me. So until I have it in my hands and can actually like touch it, feel it, see what it's like, I don't really have an opinion right now. I'm saying it's for iOS with some Chevy DMX products. That's kind of what I think. It's got the DeFi built in, so it's going to work with like your standard uplights. So they said, so like I have my Chevy DeFi, hexes. I can use it for those. We'll see what happens. I have confidence. I have faith. I have faith that Chevy doesn't handicap their product just to make room for iOS Command 2.0. I have faith. Look at my face. Can't you see all my faith? We'll see. We will see. Okay. All right, let's go. Offbeat and offbeat sometimes. Yeah, stems are going to save your life. Stems have changed everything. Stems will make your train track horrible mix sound okay. Because if just the vocals are slightly off, you can get around that. You can't get around 17 beats. That's obvious. You know, it's funny because like, especially when you do clubs, you know, the thing about clubs is there's a consistent amount of alcohol that's coming to the DJ booth all the time. And the trick is to drink enough to have a good time, but to not drink so much that you're screwing up. That's a balance. That takes time. It takes practice. I myself am a graduate from Alcoholics Academy, although I'm not an alcoholic. But my point is, there's always a chance for mistakes. This is one mistake that I had when I DJ'd on Saturday night. So I DJ'd at a club called Bogies in Westlake. It's a really, really popular gym. It used to be kind of a cougar place. Like just all the old ladies came, you know, it was cougar den. Now there's a lot more people, young people, old people that go. They have an indoor and outdoor. So there's a lot of people there. Anyway, I was kind of concerned because it was, you know, the second week of Coachella, and I already knew that like the people just weren't around, but they all came out. So I started DJing about 11:30 and 11:30 to close. And first off, so they had a Pioneer S9 and they had Reloop. I think the RP 7000s, not the 8. Yeah, not the 8000s because they didn't have the Q points. 7000s. So first off, the good of it all. The good is I didn't have to stay +8 if I didn't need to. Now I can go +16 because it's a newer turntable, and newer turntables for the most part all can get up to +16, even +50. I only care about +16. You know, that's the difference between getting from 90 to, you know, 104. So it's kind of important for me, you know. Although if it were still at +8, that would have been fine too. I just prefer DJing at +16 now. Anyway, the reloops are very interesting turntables. Very interesting. So the first thing that they do I have a picture? I need to demonstrate the issue that I had. So I need to pop in a HDMI cord. So hold on for half a second, and then I will finish the story. And see, later on, I will edit the story for a reel. It'll be like this never even happened. So hold on one moment.
This is a journey into sound. This is a journey. This is a journey into sound. Sound.
Okay, so let's pull this up real quick. Okay, all right. Nope, that's not even it. Oh, that is it. Okay, this is it. All right, so all right. Okay. This guy right here This is the turntable that they have, turntables that they have to go along with their S9. Now, you're going to look at it and say, well, it looks good. This is great over here. This is great. Let's zoom in for a minute. Let's make it a little larger. Can we do that? Perfect. Now, there are some features on here that are fairly unique. And yeah. Okay. So first off, the first thing that is unique about this is the actual platters, the platters themselves. So if you look on the actual ring here, you'll see that it looks, similar to a Techniques. Okay. And it has, you see that little metal ring, right on the bottom. Well, it's very interesting because that ring actually extends out. It extends out, I don't know, a couple of millimeters, right? But when you're touching, but when you are touching to slow it down or speed it up, you feel that bump because the bump comes out. So you actually feel that bump. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is most people put their turntables battle style, not the traditional style right here with the tone arm on the right. And most people do it like this, tone arm up top here. Okay. So good. Here's the problem. With the tone arm, not in its traditional way, your start and stop button are on the left. If you put the tone arm, if you put the turntable in battle style, then the start stop is on the right bottom right corner. That's standard way, bottom right corner, always in the bottom right corner. Here's the problem. You see up here where you got that second one up top? Okay, so that one, now you have two buttons on both sides of the platter. Two buttons. That's an issue for me because I like to rest my hand sometimes on the turntables as I'm kind of going or, looking at the computer. I might have my hand on there. I stopped the music 3 times that night because of that stupid button, that stupid secondary button. Drove me nuts. And it wasn't like a heavy button push, like even with the PLXs that I have right here. The PLXs, you can't see it because my face is in the way. And now it's blocked. But that's the button right here. And it takes a good amount of power to turn it off or to turn it on. I hate that. I really, really hate that. I hope there's a way to deactivate one of those if you don't want to use it. But oh my God, did that drive me absolutely crazy. I got used to where that little thing was on the turntable, but the start and stop, that was a bad decision. And I guess that's the issue across the board with Reloop. Every product that they have is like good, but then it'll have just like weird design choices that make it harder to use. The same thing with their Elite. I thought their Elite was a good mixer, but the effects buttons are under the pad modes are underneath. The pad modes, they're normally up here. They're down here for some reason. So now it's close to your actual crossfaders. They decided to go with just a no onboard effects. And then the symmetry of the system is just a lot. Just a lot. And that's just kind of the way they work. I'm assuming that the Mix-On 8 is going to have the same situation where it's going to be good, but there's going to be some things that make you go, Why would you do that? It's just odd to me. It's just really, really odd. And I like reloop. You know, it's just weird. DJ Fired's in the building. What's going on? DJ Lab in the building. What is going on? Yeah, and I don't even know if I'm going to get a Mix on 8. I'm flat out telling you the truth. I don't know if I'm getting one to even test. I don't know. It's a weird situation at Reloop. So if I don't, then I don't. You can get your reviews from Digital DJ Tips, or or maybe I'll get one from Zounds later on once they have them in stock. I don't know, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not one to put anybody in a box and say, oh, well, you should do this because I'm who I am. You can choose to do what you want. The only thing I will say is, as I looked at the Mixon 8 again when I was at NAMM, it did come off better because I was kind of calling it like, it's just like an SX2, or an SX3. It's a little better than that. Especially the fact that it does pretty much everything. Serato, algorithm DJ, it's going to work with virtual DJ. It's just a matter of time. So I just want to test it out. Anyway, Larry Wilson says, what's a good budget turntable to learn basic DVS and how to use vinyl in general? Audio Technica. What is it? The LP240s. I think those are relatively cheap. I think those are like $300-400. Do I not like the 1200s? Says Sandman. That's no. I do like I do like Technics. I own like 8 pairs. So yes, I do like them. My only issue with Technics is you don't get plus 16 until, I believe it was the MK5Gs were the first ones to do plus 16. So the 6 and 7 all do plus, but when I have a pair of MK5Gs, and I could never get them to sync up exactly perfectly. Like, in other words, I set the thing at 0, for instance, right up here, I set the thing at 0. If I set the other one at 0, they're going to be in sync. And I took my 5Gs in, it must have been 5 times. They never could get them to sync up, because I think the 5Gs are beautiful. I have the 5Gs with the they think they're all the same, but they're sparkly, they're black and sparkly. They're just a pretty turntable. So after the 5Gs, we were like, we need to get 1200s or so reliable. I mean, yeah, we're saying it, but I could never get my 5Gs to sync up. Now, reliability, it's not so much that they're reliable, they're just built so damn sturdy, and there are very few parts in there. So they're easy to fix, and they last forever. But that doesn't mean that they don't have problems. I have tons of turntables that work, but they don't work the best, but after 30 years of using the same thing, it's pretty impressive how long they last. But after the 5Gs, and I'm like, I need new turntables. We looked at the techniques, whatever you want to call them. And, I opted for the PLXs, the PLX 1000s. Now, reason being, I like the torque coming out of the PLXs. I like the plus 16. That's it. I mean, in reality, I don't need anything else. And they work really well. Yeah. DJ Lab went through all of it. So trust me, it's not even about that. The first thing I did was take it in, and they swapped. It just never worked. It just was never on. I agree with you, DJ Lab. I'm sure yours are perfect. Mine never were. We took them in, and took them in. And they were always slightly off. And I was like, okay. Now they work just fine. They work. I'm not saying they don't work. Obviously I'm a DJ. I don't really, if it's off plus, plus 0.1 and the other one's 0, I'm still a DJ and I don't long ride music anyway. So it doesn't really matter to me, but I just decided to try the PLXs. And when I tried the PLXs, I was very impressed. That's it. That's it. And basically all I'm saying is that in general, I think that, every turntable that follows the Technics OEM is going to be a good turntable, but I've used them all. The Stantons, straight tone arms, these, I've never used the Audio Technicas, never used those. They're all fine. They're all fine. Anyway, all of that's moot anyway, because we're all rocking phase now. So, what does it matter if they're slightly off? We're rocking DVS and Serato and, automated auto drift sync. And it's all working for you. It's all the same. Like, I think people forget how much, these programs are helping us DJ, to the point where people forget. Like, even right now, if you open up Serato, if you open up Virtual DJ, there's some things in there right now that are automating your ability to DJ. When you see things like Smart Sync, it's just Smart Sync. I'm still doing it all, kind of. All of these things are designed to help you be a better DJ. But every time I open up something or pull out the vinyl and start playing vinyl, all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I got to work harder. I got to work harder now because none of this stuff is staying on pitch. And that's how you tell. That's how you tell. I love Phase 2. I'm a big Phase fan. Some people would say I'm not a Phase fan. I still get jokes from the Phase team every time I see them at NAMM or, I talk to them, whatever. And they're always like, yeah, don't tell people this. Or, they'll say something and be like, but, don't go over there talking trash, because in the beginning, I talk trash about Phase. A lot of trash. And completely deserving. Completely deserving. They were screwing up royally in the beginning. But now we're great friends, and they respect me. So they understood why I was talking, because I didn't just go out there and just smash them just because. I explained why. And the last thing, which I think really hit the nail on the head, was the last video I did before our conversation. I basically said, look, I get it if you already pre-ordered your Phase. I pre-ordered my Phase. My partner pre-ordered his Phase. 5 other people that I know pre-ordered. But from everybody else, don't pre-order anymore. I said, it's not worth it. It's vaporware right now. Do not pre-order. You can just wait until they come out. And then that's when they were like, hold on, we need to talk, because I think I was starting to affect their bottom line there. By the way, Professor BX in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out as always. But yes, now we are, great. And then the funniest thing about people was when I said that, and then I talked to them, and then I did another video saying, look, I spoke to them. This is what I think. It's coming out, blah, blah, blah. And when I tell you that you people, them people, said to me, oh, you sellouts. What, did they pay you? What did they do? Did they, is that what it is? And I kid you not, I'm like, did you not hear the story I just told you? Like, I literally broke down our entire conversation, and I believed them. I'm a good judge of character. I'm a good judge of character. So after the conversation, I'm like, okay, I get it. And I was right. They're absolutely right. You know, it wasn't up until now. By the way, in case you didn't know, FaZe is now operating on their own. They used to be under, I think it was called like MWM. The same people that did I still have it. I gotta see if I still have it. Hold on. Let me see if I still have it. Do I have? Hold on. Let me see if I still have it. Found it. Okay. You guys remember this guy, don't you? You guys remember this guy? That's the mix fader. That's the mix fader. This was the first thing that MWM came out with. This guy right here. It's going to be hard to kick in here. There we go. Mix fader. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bluetooth crossfader. Worked until it didn't. I have everything. I have everything still. I'm trying to see where my where my old turntable buttons are. Where'd they go? I moved some stuff around, and I think where are my dicers? It's not like I use my dicers. Okay. They must have fallen back there. Anyway, I still have my dicers too. And they still work. And this guy still works, but I never use them. I bought this thing thinking that I was actually going to actually this is going to make me a better DJ. And, you watch all those old school scratch videos and people are like, how'd you get good? How'd you get good? And people will say, well, I just kind of walked around with my crossfader and I'd be at school and I would just, the whole day just with my crossfader. Everyone says they're dead. No, DJ Lab, mine still work. I'm telling you. If I can find them before we end this show, I'm plugging them in. They still work. If I honestly wish somebody would bring them back. I know that they're not necessary because we got the pads, on the actual mixer now. Like, we don't really need to have them. I don't know, but I feel like FaZe should come out with dicers. Wireless dicers. Ooh, wireless dicers. Okay, that would be a thing. I would rock some wireless dicers just because. But also have the ability to not have the little bass in there. Okay. Hero Hoarders Anonymous. And the fact is, I've actually been giving stuff away. Just not in here. But I will. One day. One day. They need to make a turntable with them built in. Well, they kind of do. Dicers, the 8000s, those have the cue points built in. The range 12s have them built in. But that would be cool. Trademark that idea. I should. Better in the building. What's going on, man? Well, dicers die, and it's definitely an electronics issue. it's just something in them that probably separates. And you probably could fix them. You know, I guarantee you, if you gave them the Drew Bach, that's Professor BX, I guarantee you, he'd get them fixed and probably turn them into some sort of hybrid Professor BX monster dicer. Well, not a good workflow is relative, DJ Lab. I mean, I think it depends on how you DJ. I personally prefer the pads on the mixer. I don't know. I know everybody's different, but for me, it just felt weird to have like my hands here and here at the same time, you know, hitting buttons. I prefer them here because you have a little more space to work with. Anyway. Okay. Don't need the dicers. I don't know, man. I feel like there's a use for them. Hey, I would personally use dicers right now. If I was using turntables more, especially with the S9, because I don't like the fact, look, the S9 already has an issue because it doesn't have dual pad mode. So for anybody that uses dual pad mode, going back to the S9 is frustrating as hell. Now, does it work? Yes. We were using it before it was the gold standard, but now I don't want to use the S9. So anytime I go to a club and they're like, oh, we use S9 here, I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to do half the stuff I normally do because I can't get to my pad modes quickly. So dicers set alone just for stem work, it's huge. So they can give me some wireless dicers for that. I would rock them because I don't think mixers are going to come out with real stem support. I mean, they might have a button or two, one for acapella, one for instrumental. You know, maybe that'll be on there, but I just don't see them coming out with like extensive stem support. I just don't. I could be wrong. I could 100% be wrong. You know, but I don't know. I feel like mixers need to be a little more open-ended. That way they have more of a longevity. Now, the fact, Professor BX is in the building, the fact that my stems don't work on this guy, the fact that I can't have stem buttons where the sync buttons are, Professor BX already made me, I have to upload it again. He already made me one where there is a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going brain dead at the moment. My silent cue. I asked him to put the silent cue with some HTML, XML scripting on the front page here where you see the waveforms. Give me a silent cue right here. I don't care about sync. Nobody uses sync. We're using turntables. Sync. So I like my silent cue to be accessible. Firmware is an issue. The firmware is the problem. DJ Lab, that's the problem. Apparently, there's only so much memory in the mixer, so there's a lot of things that can't be done because of it. That doesn't mean that the S11 still isn't the best mixer out there. That doesn't mean that. It just means that, you know, I would love. I mean, look, this is a perfect example. If you give me, you got 4 buttons right here. You can have instrumental vocals right there. If you're not a silent cue person like myself. I'm kidding. That would be perfect. I mean, when it's all said and done, I might just map my my effects. I don't use internal effects. That might be all I need. Anyway, so that's that. Okay. Sean Swift says, how do you feel about the Hercules T7 controller? And then Brian Owen says, this. So, I talked about that last week. um, everybody. I will tell you how I feel, and then I will tell you how the world feels, which is really weird and different. First off, I believe that a couple of things have come up that I've noticed from the world. You guys don't trust people. You guys don't trust. You don't trust that a controller can be belt driven that actually works. That's the first thing. First comment I've seen on my videos. Oh, it would have been great, except for belt driven. Oh, it would. What if it feels like a direct drive turntable? What does it matter? What does it matter? It's a $700 piece of gear. Now, I know I'm not saying $700 is like dirt cheap. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm also saying that $700 right now in this economy is the equivalency of, I would say, probably around a $500 controller. It just costs more money to make things and to make a profit. So $700 is still a really, really affordable thing for anything with moving platters. You know, people are like, well, I wish they would have put in the direct drive. Well, if you did, then you'd be paying $1,500 because you'd be buying a Rain 1, because that's pretty much what this is. It's a Rain 1. Now, people talking about the fact that belt driven get loose and then they wear out over time. Okay, fine. First off, how much time? Second off, how much do you actually have to be pushing these things over and over again for that to help? And third, can it be replaced? You know, everybody wants perfect, but they don't want to pay for it. You know, if they had made that thing direct drive, it would have been $1,500, and then all of you would be saying the same thing. Well, you know, it's cool and all, but if I have to do something, I might as well get the Rain 1. The Rain 1, durability, oh, quality. That's why I buy the Rain 1. You guys would all be saying that. Every one of you. Nobody would buy a Hercules device. Am I wrong? Am I lying to you people? Are you guys pulling a blind eye to what the world says? Brian, we're saying the same thing. You scratch a ton, so they go bad quickly. I'd rather pay. Well, if you'd rather pay, then you get a Rain 1 or you get a Rev 7. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think we all want every product to be the best that they can ever do it, but people don't want to pay for it. Yeah, Brian, so he bought the Rain 1. Exactly. But I think a lot of people are going to be just fine using that. I mean, again, all the portable turntables, they're all belt driven. You know, I mean, how long do you have to use it? If I'm using that thing like a belt driven portable turntable and I am scratching every day, all day, and I wear that thing out, then you buy another one. And you buy another one. You know? It's not designed to be your forever controller. In fact, in my mind, it's designed for beginners. It's designed for people that need a backup. So if it's for beginners and backup, I don't think they're going to wear the belt out like you would as a, you know, full-time scratcher. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We just want, I know you want what's best. I do. Right now, people are like, oh, that's a cool controller. When's the 4-channel coming out? Are you serious? You know, I asked the question over and over again, and for the most part, nobody can answer me. Oh, when they have a 4-channel, let me know. Why do you need 4 channels? I would say out of the people that say they need 4 channels, there's probably 1 or 2 out of every 10 to 20 people that actually explain why, and it makes sense. Most people just say it to say it, but they don't actually need 4 channels. Most people do not need 4 channels, period. Most people, even in the best possible scenario, need 3 channels. Most people. And if, you know, a lot of these new controllers are coming with auxes that you can EQ. You know, a lot of these new controllers and stuff are getting better and better. So most people don't even need that. You know, the Rain 1 is a perfect example. The Rain 1 can swap the secondary microphone, and now you can use the EQs of it. Like, that's perfect. Matt Ames wants to master 4 decks, especially with stems. You go right ahead and do that, Matt. I don't have a problem with anybody that is actually using it on that level. The problem is, I don't know anybody that does. I mean, I think Trey's was probably the only example I can think of a person that was actually like doing 4 deck routines. The only one, DJ Trey's. It's just too hard. It's just too hard. Anyway, let's see here. Best control on the planet with spinning platters is S11 and 2 Technics 1200s with phase. Okay. That's no longer a controller, Stevie. I don't disagree that, well, I do disagree a little bit because you need to be more specific with what 1200s you're using. The S11, absolutely. And phase, absolutely. But I think that not all 1200s are built the same. And if you give me a MK3 versus an MK5, I'm not going to be happy. Yeah, I can use an MK3, but you know what I don't like? Every time you DJ at any club and they have a different turntable, what's the first thing you have to do? You have to spend 10 minutes just getting used to the torque of the turntable. Just to get used to it. Again, you can't do any scratch. Your scratches are rudimentary in the first 10, 15 minutes of your sets. Always, because you're getting used to the system you're on. So if that's the case, it's fine, but it's just not the same. But here's the thing. This is what I'll say. It's no longer a controller if the damn thing weighs 100 pounds. It's no longer a controller. A controller is a Rev 7. That's a controller. A controller is a Rain 1. And I will say that I'm a big fan of the Rev 7. You know, you guys know that. I'm a big fan of the Rev 7. I do believe that as for a moving platter controller, remove all of the, well, it does this or it does this or it breaks down or whatever. I'm just talking about the actual controller. I think it's the best controller for any DJ that DJs with moving platters. The single best controller. Single best controller. And it's just an opinion. But I'd like to think that that the we're not talking about the 1000. We're not talking about the 1000. I said controller with moving platters. Anyway, I thought, and look, DJ Rick says I thought it was the worst Pioneer. Again, guys, girls, them, they. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about how it's made. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying as far as the controller goes. And again, you guys keep saying cheaply made. If you say so, I know, you know, dozens of people without issue with their Rev 7. You know, I also know people with 1000s that had problems with their 1000s. You know, there's not a perfect thing. And when the demand is so high for a product, the Rain 1 had problems. The only difference between the Rain 1 and the Rev 7, in all honesty, the only difference, because the Rain 1 had just as many problems. The only difference is Pioneer DJ is put in a different light. than the rain ever has. I have seen it. You guys, not you guys or you girls or whomever, just in general, it feels like anytime there's a problem with the Rain 12s, had serious problems when the first 2 generations came out. Okay. People complained all the time. Nobody made a big deal about it. You know, even though a lot of people were complaining. You know, but there's a lot of people that the thing worked perfectly for. Again, Rex, we're talking about your experience or the experience that you saw. Okay. So take that one experience and then ratchet it up to the tens of thousands of Rev 7s that were sold. You have to look at the whole thing. Yeah, it always sucks when you get a product and it's broken. It always sucks. Okay. No question whatsoever. But that doesn't mean that because it sucks for you, that it's not operating the way it's supposed to for the other 20 people that also bought it. That's all I'm saying. You know, my Rain 1 had issues with, you know, that I dealt with. You know, and I've seen issues that come out. And I've also, you know, especially with the 12s, you know, I like the 12s. I personally wouldn't own a 12. If that makes any sense. You know, it just does too many weird, random things that just happen. You're DJing just fine, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't think I want to work right now. You know, and you're just like at the mercy of the 12s. Yeah, Apple has made tons of issues. They've made tons of products that had problems. You know, the iPad was Bendgate. You know, which one? The iPhone, I think it was the iPhone 6. That was the one when they finally came out with the larger phone. That was Bendgate. That was an issue. There's no perfect anything out there. Nothing. And the more popular you are, the more that things that other companies get a pass on, you get hit with. And that's Pioneer DJ. It's what happens when you were considered to be the top. You know, albeit true or not, but they are considered to be, you know, the top of the food chain when it comes to DJ equipment. Yeah, so we just go through it. So I always say, just pick what you like. You know, if you like it and it works for you, good. And even say the Rev 7, okay? The Rev 7, quality control issues. Okay, fine. I still would rather be rocking a Rev 7 than a Rain 1. Is there anything wrong with the Rain 1? Well, there's several things that I don't personally like, but I'd rather be rocking a Rev 7. So if I can't rock a Rev 7, I am not bringing out my S11 and 2 turntables. I am not doing that whatsoever. That is insane. You people are insane bringing out them heavy ass things. And then now there's furniture. I have my furniture that's sitting outside my door right now from Danny Max. I gotta put a controller in there. And when I tell you that when he asked me, do you want the large one for your turntables? I literally looked at him and said, hell no. I was at NAMM a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure a lot of you were. Did you guys get a chance to look at the Danny Max booth? And I asked him, where's the case? Where's the case for the one for turntables? Oh my God, if that wasn't the largest case I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know where you put it. And we used to think coffins were heavy. Like, you guys are out of your mind. Sorry. Look, I know I think it depends on the amount of work that you do. Okay. So, and again, this is not me trying to put a flex on anybody or anything. This is just reality of it. I think the more work you do as a DJ, as a working, you know, mobile DJ, not just a regular DJ, because then you go anywhere, it doesn't really matter. But as a working DJ, the more you do, the more you start to try to be more efficient. Okay. You try to maximize the amount of time it takes to set up, to bring equipment around, all of these things. That is part of it. And the more you do it, the older you get, the less you want to do heavy ass stuff. That's it. So when I'm looking at people like, well, why don't you just bring your turntables in your S11? And I'm like, no, I would rather just rock a controller. You know, well, it looks better at the parties. Maybe. I'm still getting booked. People are still dancing their asses off at my parties, you know? And I think that the Rev 7 is the perfect hybrid of both of them. You know, because look, people have the same reaction from what I've seen as people using turntables or people using CDJs, because CDJs are kind of the standard. You know, CDJs. So if you're rocking 3000s, nobody's going to be like, why don't you use turntables? They're going to be like, oh, okay. You know, so I just think that in general, you're not winning. You're not winning at the end of the day because you brought your turntables out. Okay. It's just facts. If you're killing it on if you're killing on whatever device you're using, you know, people are going to respect you. Period. Yeah. So people are saying right now, their first 1000s had issues. It happens. Some people had a floor model for 700 and it works perfect. It happens. Maybe Professor BX can design a moving platter standalone. Maybe, you know, but you know, if they're not light, it doesn't matter how great anything would be. If they're not light, I'm not bringing it with me. I think you have to be a real busy working DJ to understand. You know, you take that and do like this week. I have 4 events: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You think I want to bring a coffin everywhere I go for 4 different parties? No, thanks. No, thanks. Out of your mind. All right. I do have to go to Ultimate Ears, so I got to see how long it's going to take me to get there. So hold on, because I might have to end this thing like right now. 36 minutes. Okay. So I have I got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes with you people. With them people. Hire more techs to set up. You know, you hire more techs, you got to pay more money. You lose money on your bottom line. So we do have roadies for certain events. I'm still not that person that requires them. Now, if I'm doing a larger party, if I'm meeting someone, then yeah. But I mean, I like knowing the gear that I'm using is the gear that I want to use. You know, normally if I have to do a roadie, that means I got to bring different stuff because I keep like my Rev 7 at my house. But I would have to use the stuff that I keep in my warehouse, which isn't a problem, but that means it's just different. Charge more money. I do charge more money. Still don't want to, my partner and I can't be the same person. My partner's the guy that's like, money's no issue. We're just going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. I have a roadie. I'm like, yeah, but you don't even have a system. You're DJing at a nightclub tonight. He brought my controller, you know, whatever. He's that guy. Then there's me. That's like, you know what? I see. You guys think that I actually need to rock the turntables and stuff. I don't at all whatsoever. I personally like working on the Rev 7. I don't need to work on turntables. I DJ with turntables at clubs, you know, and sometimes it's CDJs. I don't need it. And there's a lot of reasons why. Okay. So fine. I decide to start using my turntables. My roadie comes, sets me up. Everything's good. Great. Now I need a bigger ass table because turntables take up more space, especially if they're in flight cases. So I have less room for everything else. And it's just a lot more. I don't personally need it. I don't personally need it. Again, I can have a roadie. This isn't an issue. This isn't like I can't afford it. The money is there for it. I don't find the reason necessary for paying for somebody to do a job that I'm still capable of doing. The only time I pay for that is if like I got a gig in the morning or I'm meeting from my kids' dance competitions and it's like, yeah, go send somebody to go set something up. That's different. That's different completely, but for me, the only heavy thing I pick up are speakers. That's it. And even then I've opted for lighter speakers, which is why I bought the QSCs. That's why. Lighter, not lighter per se, but smaller form factor. Fits in more vehicles. I can rock them in my F-150 and not think twice about it. And I still have more and I still have room. I can't do that with my SRXs. I can't do that with the Mackeys. I can't do that with the LDs that they tried to send me. My kids are great roadies too, DJ Farms. My 16-year-old works for us. Anyway, the Opus is a fingerprint magnet. I mean, I think it's just as fingerprint magnet as the CDJ is. But I still like the way it looks. You want to buy more gear with the extra money. You know what? No, I want to be in a situation where, the money, it doesn't matter what month we're in, the money's always there. If that makes sense. I want to be in a situation where, because we have a dead time, usually speaking, although it's not dead this year, but usually speaking, our July into like the first or second week of August is typically really, really slow or dead. So we have actual vacation, where we're not working. This year we're actually busy through the entire summer, but before that, I'm like, I'd rather just have the money in there. So I don't have to think about, oh my God, am I getting paid this week? Because, we're paying all of these roadies and now we're at a downturn or at a down part of it and there's no money. So, need to get some hookups. Stop making excuses and say you're cheap. I guess you haven't seen my house. It's not about being cheap. But I don't have to show people the money that I have, if that makes sense. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. And B-Fields, when you run your own company, you will understand what I'm saying. There's you have to be smart. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dead out here after Halloween. Okay. January through March. Yep. Everybody. So because I do bar and bat mitzvahs, you guys, I fall upon, the school season. So basically like the second week of August through like the third week of June, we're swamped. And then over the summer break, people don't want to book parties, because they want to make sure that people are on vacation and, all of these things. So it's a little different, but this year, for whatever reason, we're good. Audio One in the building. What's going on, fam? That's my guy. Make sure you're following Audio One. Speaking of dope DJs, that's one of them right there. The only two ways to increase profit is to increase revenue or decrease cost. Exactly. But a lot of people think that, you have to have shiny new to sell. People don't care about that. That's why I don't fall into the rat race of like, everybody that's always like, well, you got to have these lights and you got to have this and you got to have that and you got to have furniture. Like if I wasn't getting sponsored by Danny Max, I wouldn't have any furniture for me personally. Okay. That doesn't mean I don't see the value in it. I don't see how good it looks. I just know that my clients don't care. They don't care if I'm rocking a facade or if I'm rocking furniture. They do not care. They care about their party. As long as it's clean looking, they don't care. Like I've seen people that have talk trash. Like if you're not rocking furniture, you know, you're losing money. No, you're not. If you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job. You know, I see far more facades in the world than I see furniture. Now, does furniture work? Absolutely. Is it clean? Is it? Yes, but you also have to keep in mind that when you have furniture, you are on a different level of clean. You are on an absolute different level of clean. You can't have random cords everywhere. Okay. You can't have things underneath your feet. All that stuff has to go somewhere. It's just a different story. So, you know, when I have furniture, you know, that's when I bring my roadie, because I don't want to tape down. I don't want to do any of that stuff. So my roadie can set all that stuff up and everything, and I'll just come a little later. That's it. But I appreciate furniture. So I don't want anybody to think that I don't appreciate furniture. I absolutely do. When it's done, it looks damn good. And every time I've seen furniture at any type of venue or whatever, I'm like, that's a damn good looking thing. But I am not giving furniture away for free. They have to pay for that. I will bring it out a couple of times. And then after that, it's going on as an upsell, you know, and then that way I will have a roadie, you know, it would be a completely different thing. So, anyway. All right. So, fam, because I have a thing at Ultimate Ears, I can't stay on as much as I'd love to. I have like 3 more minutes and then I have to be off of this call and going. Especially if you don't got to buy it. Exactly. You know, I know a lot of people are just like, wow, you know, oh, you're using this, you're using that. I think that's kind of the testament, in all honesty, and I tell people this, I'm like, you guys, everybody asks me like, what do you use, or what do you recommend, or what's your favorite thing? My favorite thing is what I'm using. If that makes any sense, I would personally think that would make the most sense. If I'm using it, then it's my favorite thing. Now, a lot of people will see me using stuff while I'm in the middle of testing it, you know, and then be like, oh, well, if you're using this all the time, you like this over this. I'm like, no, I'm testing, you know, but in general, my favorite stuff is what I use after that. Mixed Master G in the building. Sorry, I didn't say hi to you before. Yeah, which is why, you know, I use my Rev 7, you know, and I guess if I had CD, you know what, I'd probably use a mixer / turntable setup if it were the S11 and CDJ 3000s. Can I help you? No. When? Maybe. Let me get off. I got to go to Ultimate Ears right now. I'm getting off my show. At this exact second? You can't wait 5 minutes? Okay, fine. Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, why wouldn't I want to go? You can, okay. We're done with the conversation now. You can shut the door. It's okay. Can you shut my door now? Anyway, all right. So, that's it for me. Yes, the wife. The wife's like, I know you have a podcast. I know you have all of this stuff. I know it's important to you, but I have some questions. And my questions are far more important than anything going on in your life. That's just the reality of what it is that we do. So anyway, all right, peeps, thanks for hanging out today. I honestly appreciate you as always. Thank you to the 140 people that are still on the show, watching and enjoying, hopefully enjoying. Like, I know we didn't really talk about a lot of stuff today, but I think what we talked about was useful, was helpful. So, do I like the SC6000s? I do, I do. And I know that that's one that Mojax uses, the SC6000Ms. They're good. They're good. You know, I haven't used them long enough to like have a real opinion, but anyway, but they're good. Okay. Let's talk about the Rev 7 again. Why not? Why not? Anyway, guys and girls and them, they, he, she, you know. Thank you one more time for hanging out today. I will see you guys next week. I have some more videos coming out. If you have questions, hold them till next week or throw them in my IG as a direct message. And I will see you then. All right, y'all. See you soon. Peace out.